Welcome to Vanished into the Night, where the shadows hide the stories that need to be told. I'm your host, Karen Swanson, and each week I will dive into the chilling mysteries of missing persons and cold cases. Stories that refuse to fade into the darkness. These cases may have gone cold, but the truth is still out there, waiting to be uncovered. Hey guys, welcome back to Vanished into the Night. Sorry about last week's episode and the audio for it. My new mic obviously was not that great. Today's episode is going to be about Skye Budnick. This is requested by my talented, beautiful, amazing cousin-in-law. Skye was 21 and a junior at Central Connecticut State University. Skye struggled with friendships and often felt left out, mainly because she did not own a cell phone. This happened in end of March, beginning of April in 2008. So this year, in timing and how old she was, it was very common for people her age to have a cell phone. So the only way that she was able to stay connected to her friends was through either Facebook Messenger or meeting with her friends frequently at a club that they used to go to. Her sister described her as shy, quiet, and was never super close with anyone. March 31st of 2008, Megan and Susan, their mother, hadn't heard from Skye. I don't know for how long no articles really stated how long it had been that they hadn't heard from her, but her employer also had not heard from her, and she never showed up for work. So they grew concerned. They were on Skye's laptop, I apologize, and went through her email and had found out that she booked a one-way ticket to Japan and had only brought $800 with her. And her flight departed on April 1st of 2008. Skye was last seen by anyone on April 7th, 2008, by an innkeeper in Noborobitsu. I believe that's how it's pronounced. If I am incorrect, I apologize. And she said Skye told her she was headed to Sapporo, a city on the opposite side of the island. When Megan and their mother found out she went to Japan, they immediately flew out and filed a missing persons report. There was little to be done due to Skye being an adult. After landing in Tokyo, her final destination was Hokkaido, the northernmost of Japan's main islands. Susan described the inn where Skye was last seen as it being in the middle of the mountains in a bamboo forest, and the inn was full of cats. That it didn't seem like a place you'd stop and vacation, and it was more so of a pit stop. Unfortunately, it left them with more questions than answers, and they have a deep feeling she didn't make it to her final destination. When Susan and Megan left for Japan in June of 2024, they were accompanied by a Southington detective and a U.S. Marshal. When they arrived to the Japanese National Police headquarters in Hokkaido, they were only told what would be taking place. The Hokkaido Marshal showed Megan, Susan, the detective, and the U.S. Marshal a binder of all the research collected in the investigation pertaining to Skye, but unfortunately, due to the lack of resources and how the internet and data fundamentally worked back then, there was little to be found on or about Skye. They also never received the police report due to the difference in laws that they have in Japan. That was over 17 years ago when she disappeared. She would now be 37, and her sister explains how she has worked tirelessly to spread the word about her sister's disappearance and how exasperating it is when a loved one goes missing in another country. On June 1st, 2024, Megan and their mother went back to Japan to submit DNA in hopes that one day they will find Skye. This was kind of a last-ditch effort that they could do to be able to have some sort of connections in finding Skye. If you do want more in-depth information about Skye and who she was as a person, please go check out her sister Megan's podcast. It's called Surviving Skye. Or also her TikTok under Megan LeBron, as they are still waiting for any updates after submitting their DNA. It is supposed to be cross-referenced with their Jane Doe database. So far, they haven't received any hits as of September of 2024. They hoped they'd at least get some sort of answers within the first 5 years of her going missing. Not knowing why Skye went to Japan, I think, is the biggest mystery for everyone who does know about this case and her disappearance. Was she afraid of something? Was she going to possibly meet someone? Was she having a depression spell? Maybe she felt alone and didn't see a way out. I don't think anyone truly knows. I hope that one day Skye's family gets answers as to where she went and what could have happened to her. If you know anyone in Japan, please spread the word or even just share the story, because the more cases get spoken of, the more attention it brings, the more answers people get. I personally have opinions. Maybe she was suicidal. Maybe she had suicidal ideations. I know it was alleged that she was depressed and did have suicidal ideations. I don't know how true that is. I do know that there is what us Americans know as the suicide forest that's in Japan. It's circled in one of the photos of the maps. It's at the bottom of Mount Fuji. It's like in the forest area. So maybe, possibly, she could have went there. Possibly she decided that she was just kind of done, unfortunately, with life. I don't know. This is all just opinions and thoughts. But that's all I have for you on this case of Skye Budnick. The sources for this episode are investigationdiscovery.com, ctinsider.com, Spotify / Surviving Skye, Megan LeBron's Facebook page. The images I got were from GoFundMe, Google, and Megan LeBron's website, survivingskye.com. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, subscribe, all the buttons. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe and review. Your support keeps these stories alive. Remember to stay tuned, stay vigilant, and most importantly, stay curious. Until next time, this is Vanished into the Night, where the missing are never forgotten.